Hi, welcome to 5 Minute Bible, where I do my very best to bring you biblical and scriptural truth in 5 minutes or less. So, it's been a rough few weeks in my town, in my community. We have lost a lot of people, some to COVID, some not. Seems like every other day there's an announcement on Facebook. And a couple weeks ago, we lost a woman who was dear to me. She was always supportive. She was always an encouragement, always writing positive things on my Facebook page. And we lost her quite suddenly and unexpectedly. And as I was praying for her family, I thought about all these other lives that have been lost. And it made me think of this time when I lived in Florida back in 1998, 99, when tech was about a year and a half, maybe, when we had wildfires in Florida, not far from where I lived. And you'd be driving down the road and there would be these huge things of ash just floating through the sky and falling to the ground and on your car. And it was like it was snowing, but it wasn't snow, it was ash. And not even that, beyond just ash falling like snow, it also was like a fog had settled in. And it wasn't fog, it was smoke and it was ash. And in the middle of the day, you needed your headlights and you couldn't even see that far because of all the smoke and the ash in the air. And as I was praying for this woman's family and thinking about my community, that picture came to my mind. These lives that are falling like ash from the sky, and all this chaos in our nation, political unrest, racial unrest, all of these things are like that smoke that like fog is just blocking our vision. And as I was praying about this and thinking about this, the Lord sent me to this scripture, Isaiah 61:3. I've taught on it before. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. Now, that's the KJV version. In the NIV, it doesn't say trees of righteousness, it says oaks of righteousness. Well, I've got a massive oak in my front yard. I love it. It is huge. The trunk is massive and it stretches out and has this great broad arms. And I look at that and I think, well, I don't feel like an oak. I feel like a sapling, like one of those little ones. They have to put the wood in the ground to kind of hold it upright because it keeps going over like this. That's how I feel. I don't feel like an oak. And I go back to this scripture and it says to give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. And I realized that God showed me something I'd never thought about before. This isn't about him changing our circumstances. This isn't about him saying, I will take the ash away, but he is saying, I will let you see the beauty in the ash. It's an attitude. The oil of joy for mourning. Well, we are in mourning, and he will change it to joy. He will transform us. The garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Again, that's an internal thing. This isn't talking about our circumstances. It is talking about us. And it promises in the New Testament that we will be transformed through Jesus Christ. And that's what it's talking about here. The beauty for ashes. It's not like everything in your life will suddenly be going good. The beauty for your ashes is you. You are the beauty. Each one of us is that beauty. He takes us, and through our suffering and through our hard times and through the chaos in our lives, he transforms us into new creatures. We are the beauty that comes out of the ashes of our life. And when we allow him to change us and we cling to him and he does his work in us, when Jesus does, then we are mighty oaks, able to withstand any storm, rising up out of the ashes. Like in wildfires, did you know there are seeds that aren't going to germinate until they've been exposed to a certain temperature? God literally created them to germinate and blossom after a fire. If you drive by a field that was devastated by a wildfire 6 months later, you won't be able to tell that there was a problem. There's already grass, and I'm a Floridian, so I'm going to say palmetto bushes starting to grow and little tiny pine trees, and it is already soaring back to vivid and wonderful life. And that is us. We are that vivid, wonderful life. The beauty that God brings from ashes. We are that beauty. You are that beauty. So I pray for you today as we are going through this time of ash and fog and smoke. I'm praying for you to cling to the Lord and be transformed so that you will be the beauty that comes from the ashes. See you next week.